What's up, everyone watching this video? I'm Admin Tim from the Sons of Liberty, and I'm speaking on behalf of my entire admin team who helped me gather my thoughts and talking points for this video. We're going to touch on a very sensitive topic today. On Tuesday, September 4th, 2024, a 14-year-old student walked into a Georgia high school and murdered 2 students, 2 teachers, and injured 9 others. Now, he did this after the FBI notified his father that he was a threat. His father ignored the threats and then bought his son an AR-15 for Christmas. Happy birthday, Jesus, I'm giving my boy a boomstick. Now, we here at the Sons of Liberty are not going to name this kid or his father because that's not the purpose of this rant. He wanted to be famous, we're not giving him that. I realize that we're a wee bit behind the curve here, but there's a metric ton of shit going on and there's a lot to try and cover every single day. So today we want to talk about patterns, actions, and the stupidity of people who say thoughts and prayers like those are things that help. Up front, this is going to be a heavy subject to talk about. I know I'm going to get shit in the comments from all the fucking triggered vet bros and vet flakes and the shall not be infringed fucking fringe lunatics. Shall not be infringed lunatics. No, that doesn't land. How is a veteran going to talk about gun control? What kind of traitor bitch bullshit? I know it's coming, so go ahead. Fuck with me in the comments. Try to come for me in the comments and see what happens. I will butt fuck your soul, I swear to God. And the nature of American left in our political landscape means that there are purity test people out there who are rabidly anti-gun to the point where they think the answer is to just go grab all the guns, despite the fact that they never volunteer to be the ones to go get them. And then you have people like me who believe that the left should all be as well armed or better armed and better trained than the right wing. Now, speaking of the right wing and schools, their Cheeto Jesus dong mold tramp is trying to jerk them off with some talking point about how kids go to school and end up being forced to undergo genital surgery to forcibly transition kids. Now, what's tragic about this is that people actually regurgitate this outlandish and stupid talking point because it helps set up Project 2025's plans to get rid of the Department of Education. But I think it's a little ironic that these idiots are more worried about the 0% chance of that happening, but not at all worried about the much more significant chance of their kids not coming home at all because some other kid shot up the place. The pro-life party of All Lives Matter sure is real fucking silent whenever this kind of shit happens, and it happens a lot. It's like, well, you shouldn't have got pregnant, so they're going to force you to have the baby. But then once the baby is born, fuck it, you're on your own, motherfucker. Now, Admin Elo pulled some information from a New York Times article on perpetrators of mass shootings. 6 of the 9 deadliest mass shootings in the United States since 2018 were by people who were 21 or younger. Before 2000, most mass casualty shootings were initiated by men in their mid-20s through 40s and were most commonly workplace shootings. So the demographic has changed because the influences, causes, and motivations have shifted. These younger shooters fit a critical age range, roughly 15 to 25, that law enforcement officials, researchers, and policy experts consider a hazardous crossroads for young men, a period when they're in the throes of developmental changes and societal pressures that can turn them toward violence in general and, in the rarest cases, mass shootings. Y'all, we have a fucking problem that we need to fucking deal with beyond just guns, which I'm not saying is not a problem. I don't want to turn this into well, just treat the causes of the mental illness or whatever. No, there's a whole list of things that need to be fucking done here. Not everything fits in a neat little box. We have a white male problem where white men and boys are being radicalized. There's a book called Men Who Hate Women. Thank you, Admin V. And the book talks about how the internet communities are becoming places where young men and older men are being radicalized with nothing to counter it being presented in other places. Our admin team wonders if this is what is happening with this particular shooter and possibly the shooter's father. Like, what fucking possessed you to go buy a gun for your son after being told that he was a danger? I also don't think that any of us can deny that easy access to these guns for these young men is a problem. It's progress that the parents of school shooters are being charged where it can be shown that they were criminally negligent and even complicit in their minor child obtaining access to an AR-15 or other AR-15 clone platforms, while simultaneously ignoring evidence of the child's antisocial thought processes. As with most issues in this divided country right now, virtually no progress is being made on finding common ground, though it seems like the vast majority of people want common sense gun control. Everyone but those fucking shall not be infringed weirdos. So what would that look like? For one thing, it's going to take a lot more than just one thing to make a difference. Obviously, universal background checks are an option that's shown to have an impact in countries with lower death rates of gun deaths. This and many other measures are being fought hard by the Second Amendment absolutists and the gun lobby, but it's worth continuing to push things like flag laws throughout the country. We could raise the age to own certain weapons to 21. Restricting access to high capacity magazines is something that's bandied about. Prohibiting domestic abusers from owning guns, like ever. In fact, you want to fight so badly? Guess what, asshole? Welcome to the School of Infantry. Population U. There are technological measures such as using biometrics like fingerprint readers on trigger locks and gun safes. You can also use legal measures such as strengthening criminal and civil liability for gun owners whose guns are used in mass shootings. The dream would be to make manufacturers liable for gun deaths, but that's unlikely to ever happen. Strengthening our red flag laws will also help, provided it's not abused. Now, the Sons of Liberty admins are pragmatists. We're never going to be like the UK. We're never going to be like Australia. Shutting the barn door after the horse has bolted isn't going to do anything, but that doesn't mean that we should sit around and do nothing. Back in the old days, many children died in car accidents, but we created seatbelt laws and we started requiring safety belts for children under a certain height and weight. And the number of deaths went down. Same thing with drunk driving. We campaigned long and hard, and eventually the massive public awareness campaigns paid off. The number of deaths due to DUIs went down. Obviously, people still die and we can't ban alcohol. We tried that with prohibition and it created a nightmare of gang warfare and bootlegging. But we made the effort and it paid off. While we want school shooting deaths to be zero, we can't guarantee that, but it doesn't mean that we shouldn't do anything at all. Requiring mandatory background checks, fingerprint safety locks on gun safes and triggers, will stop people from accessing weapons, and that will eliminate the ease with which children like the Apalachee shooter will be able to commit their crimes. Now let's talk about the things that went right at Apalachee. I know no one wants to hear this, but this particular incident was handled fairly well by the school and police, and we should note that. Teachers were wearing around their necks a button that they could press when a shooting incident was taking place. This allowed police and school administrators to converge on the location of the shooter and prevent him from accessing other areas of the school. The school safety officer did not hide in the parking lot. He went towards the shooter. The police officers had access to systems that the teachers had and went towards the shooters. They carefully cleared classrooms and verified that there were no bad actors in the classrooms. This was different from other shootings that have happened in the past, most notably Uvalde. No one waited outside for the shooter to come to them. Because of the safety systems in place, teachers were able to act quickly. They pulled students from the hallways. They and the students started locking and barricading themselves into their classrooms. There may be some other things that we're missing, but the admin team believes that the quick actions of the students, teachers, and the police absolutely saved lives. And these are things that should be used in other school systems. We hate that our kids and our teacher friends have to suffer. We fear the day that it will be someone we know and someone we love. But this is absolutely fucking stupid to sit around and do absolutely nothing when there are things that we can do. The motherfuckers who say it's too soon to talk about reasonable gun legislation or our thoughts and prayers are with the victims are wrong. Thoughts and prayers don't do shit. There are things that we can do that are bought and paid for by the gun lobby politicians refuse to do. They are putting corporate profits above the lives of the children. They are encouraging people to believe that the Second Amendment is an absolute and restrictions are unconstitutional. This is wrong. The admins of Sons of Liberty aren't in perfect agreement on everything, including this issue, but we do agree that doing nothing is fucking stupid. I said what I said. Admin Tim 316 says get fucked and die mad about it, bitch. On behalf of the Sons of Liberty, I'm Admin Tim, and if you like our content, we'd appreciate it if you'd like, subscribe, and get notifications. You can help us extend our reach by sharing our video content wherever you see it. And if you want to help us beat the algorithm, leave us a comment on some of our videos. 2 claps and a Rick? Type it in the comments. Woo! As evidenced by the fact that Kyle Shittenhouse missed one of the guys that he was shooting at, I wouldn't have fucking missed. This is probably too serious of an issue to have comedic outtakes. I better fucking cut that one out.